much. It's been a long and frustrating 6 months, year, 2 years for Darren Barker. He's been taking one step forward and then 2 steps back. He's been the victim of a series of injuries, mixed injuries. He got his world title fight last year. He lost in Atlantic City to the best world champion at his weight. He was due back in the ring next Saturday at Alexander Palace, not far from where he lives. That fight was hit by injury and he's out. Now, people have been tweeting me and telling me all day, Buncey, Darren is extremely low. Well, I'm delighted to say that he is on the line now. Good evening, Darren.
Hello, mate. How are you, Steve?
Yeah, not bad. Well, it's just been...
Should have got the violin out.
Oh, no, it's true. It's 1 step forward and 2 steps back, Darren, isn't it, with you?
Oh,
so 2 years.
It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. The people are right. I am gutted.
What is the injury now? Because we've had the surgery. You know, we actually, you know, you went in and actually had proper surgery. I talked to you the day before that, or the day you came out. What's happened to call next week's fight off for you?
Right, so all the hips are good. You know, I've got that nightmare behind me that was troubling me for so long. Camp was going well. You know, it's a cliche all the time. You know, it was the best camp I've had, blah blah. But it really was. I was doing. You know, everything was going to plan. I was a new machine, if you like, and training better than I ever had. And I'm fortunate in sparring. I've basically torn my bicep, and I've damaged the tendons as well. So I had a scan on it, and the doctor said, no, there's nothing we can even do just to get you through the fight. You're going to have to pull out.
Now, is that something you've done before, Darren, or is it a new injury?
No, it's a new injury. It's just, I don't really know what to say, mate. I am absolutely gutted, and, you know, I think the most valuable thing God's given us on this earth is time, and I've invested so much time and effort into this training camp, not just this camp boxing, and you know, now I feel as if I deserve to get some momentum and something out of the sport, and you know, my body's just not allowing me to do that at the minute.
Because the way it is at the moment also is that and I'm not meaning to rub it in, but there are opportunities opening up as well, aren't there? Right. Big opportunities opening up.
I mean, it's you know, I think I proved myself to be on the world stage after the Martinez fight, and you know, it's great to be part of a middleweight division that is booming internationally and domestically.
Yeah, of course.
You know, after proving myself last October, it would have been nice if I was able to kick on and mix it with the rest of the best, if you like, in the division, both, you know, across the pond and over in England. And, you know, like I say, again, my body does not let me do that. And, you know, mentally, that's so frustrating. It's really, really tough to take, to be honest.
Yeah, I imagine it is. When you did this injury in the sparring, how close to the end of the sparring were you, Darren?
It was quite soon into it.
Okay.
You know, it was just one of them. I pretty much knew that I'd done something. It wasn't just your run-of-your-mill normal thing. And I was gutted. I just wanted my mum to turn up and give her a big cuddle.
Oh, shoot.
It was one of them. It was like, give me a break.
Oh, you know, as you say, you've got through the serious stuff, which is actually going in and being operated on. So you get through that, and then as you say, you're recovering from that. You get on. You had that fight lined up next week, and then, as you say, there's almost there's about 10 routes open for you, aren't there? Because you've gone down the top route with the top man Martinez, and now there's all those other champions, and as you said, the domestic ones, because there were big domestic fights for you. What's the prognosis, Darren? A lot of rest, and when might you be back in the gym? When might you be back in the ring?
Well, they're saying, the doctor was saying 3 months I could be actually in the ring fighting again. Okay. I mean, I'm hoping, I'm trying to be a bit more optimistic, but you know, to be deadly honest, I don't really want to think about boxing at the minute. I mean, it's really has done my head in, really affected me, and you know, there are even thoughts coming into my head about even thinking about carrying on, because I'm that low at the minute. I'd be lying to you now if I'm saying, I'm absolutely excited about looking at the future and getting my body back to full fitness. I've almost, if you like, there's an element of me giving up hope, just because it's that frustrating. I can't, like I was saying to you before, the most valuable thing is time, and I'm investing so much with no final outcome or nothing to make that time worthwhile. You know, we're not like footballers. We don't get paid every week if we're injured. So you know, I've got a family, I've got a daughter, I've got a girlfriend who needs feeding, you know, and it's difficult, you know.
I mean, what I would suggest, Darren, when you're feeling like this, and I know you feel like it's unique, but there have been fighters that have had the same thing, injured themselves with the last punch of sparring, lost a world title fight, and then never got that chance again. There are cases like that in history. You know that, don't you? It sounds to me like you need a proper break. I know you've had breaks, but you've had breaks waiting to get into a camp. It seems to me you need, if you can find...
What it is with me, what I find so frustrating is I'm never physically and mentally on the same path, you know. I have my ups and downs, I suppose, mentally anyway, but
sure.
I've been so enthusiastic about the sport since having the hips done and been so keen and raring to go that now it's my body packing up once again. So if I'm physically well, then mentally I'm not, and if I'm mentally well, physically I'm not, and it's just so frustrating that it absolutely drives me mad. And, you know, I think if I was to go through another camp and have to pull out again, I think you'd have to take me to the funny farm because it would just, you know, completely do me in.
Well, the first thing, and I know that Tony will be telling you this, and I know that Eddie, your promoter, and your friends will be telling you this. The first thing they'll be telling you is that you can't do anything until you get your head right. Forget the tendons, forget your torn bicep. It sounds to me, Darren, that you got to get your head straight before you do anything, mate. Yeah. Is that fair?
Yeah, that is fair. But don't get me wrong, I don't want to mope about and make anyone feel sorry for me. You know, life's good at the minute. You know, other than injuries and boxing, you know, yeah. I've got a fantastic family around me, and I've got great friends, and everyone plays together and help me and cheering me up. So, you know, it's not all doom and gloom.
No, it's not. But
boxing aside, boxing's a very small part of life. And as frustrating as it is, you know, like I say, I've got a great family around me, and I've got plenty to smile about.
Yeah, you have, and that would have been my next point. Is that despite, you know, the way it feels now, you're still surrounded by people that you love, people that you trust, and you've got a decent life. You've got a nice life going. Yeah. You know, you're not destitute, are you? You're not destitute. You sorted yourself out. You're still a baby,
league, so.
And you're still a kid, aren't you, Darren? Let's not mess around, mate. You're still, you know, you're only 30 years of age.
That's it. Yeah, I do at times like an old 30-year-old, but. I mean, if you look at the miles on the clock as far as boxing is concerned, I've had no real hard fight.
No, good point.
You know, it's not like I'm an old beat-up 30-year-old who had life and death wars. So that's something to be upset about.
I agree completely. I think I've got this theory about a boxing tank. Everyone's got a boxing tank inside them, and some people's boxing tanks are exhausted when they're 21 after 22 fights, and some boxing tanks never exhaust. Like Bernard Hopkins, he can have a lot of hard fights and he can go till he's 45. Like Amir Khan, I think at the moment, I think his boxing tank is near enough exhausted because of all those years as an amateur. He fought 40 times one year.
I've got a Ferrari engine in a Skoda's body.
Well, you're telling me there's plenty in the tank.
And the doors are falling off, but the engine's good.
Oh. Listen, Darren, I'm going to let you go, and I really appreciate your time and your honesty tonight and your truthfulness.
No, always a pleasure, Steve. Thanks, mate.
See you later. Darren Barker there, who won't be fighting next week at the Ali Pali. The top of the bill will be Mad Tony Bellew, and I can say that without any fear of being sued, because if anyone can prove to me he's not mad as a March hare, then they know something I don't know, because he's genuinely potty. His mother says he is, so I'm gonna. If it's good enough for his mum, it's good enough for me.